where do you think, the Dudleys are going to belong in history? I mean, obviously they're Hall of Famers. They deserve every bit of that. I said up front, they were one of my absolute favorites. I grew up a big Steiner Brothers fan, but later as I guess we'd call it a teenager, man, the Dudley Boyz were my go-to. So they're on my Mount Rushmore of tag teams. They're in the Hall of Fame. Where would you think, in your opinion, as one of the great tag team wrestlers of all time, where do the Dudleys rank for you?
Mount Rushmore. You talk about the top four. I believe they're on the top four. There's not a doubt in my mind. Their longevity, what they've done, all the titles that they've won. You can make an argument that they're a GOAT. Legitimately make that argument. And I don't think anybody thought in the 90s after Road Warriors that anybody would ever make an argument that somebody could even be equal to the Road Warriors. And maybe they're not. That's all subjective. But I think they're right up there with the great teams, especially the great brother teams. I think Booker and Stevie obviously belong on that. And the other great teams of that era, of Edge and Christian and the Hardys. I think the Steiners, people that didn't see the Steiners in the early 90s, they owned the wrestling world. They were that freaking good. There's a match with Bret Hart and Owen Hart against the Steiners in WWE that just to this day will blow you away. But Ricky and Robert, the Briscoe brothers, for all they did in Florida and so many different places. I think, there's a lot of great teams. Most of them are brother teams, by the way. But I think they are right there. I think the Road Warriors, to me, are probably number one. And then everybody else is fighting for number two. And I think that the Dudleys are in that fight.
The tag team match you were talking about, the Bret and Owen against the Steiner brothers, it was a Wrestling Challenge TV taping in Florence, South Carolina in January of 94. If you're looking for that, it was January 11th, 1994. They went 24 minutes and 55 seconds. That's a match that John is referencing there. I got to agree, man. I think the Dudleys, and one of the things I think that's so great about the Dudleys, and I hope this is a lesson for perhaps, aspiring young tag team wrestlers. I don't think anyone, respectfully, I've heaped love on these guys. I don't think anyone is going to necessarily confuse the Dudley Boyz, with a Bret Hart, Shawn Michaels level in-ring technician. It's a totally different presentation. I think what gets them on that Mount Rushmore is they were established characters that the audience believed in, and clearly the promotions, and I mean every promotion, whether it was here in America or in Japan or anywhere, they could be trusted with the tag titles.
Yes.
And I think the promotion being able to trust you, the audience believing in you, and you having easily identifiable characters. Like we knew who Bubba and Devon are. I think that was like the trinity that made the Dudleys successful. Am I far off base?
No, I completely agree. And the Road Warriors weren't great workers. They weren't those guys. They kill people is what they did, and they were very good at it. They cut good promos. And you look at what, especially what Hawk did with Hasek, over in Japan. I mean, Hawk especially could work. Animal could too, in what he did. He wasn't, again, not a Bret Hart, not a Shawn Michaels, but he got over like $1 million freaking dollars, and those guys were over. That Road Warrior pop was legitimate, and you have such a divergence of tag teams from Ricky and Robert to the Kangaroos to Bubba and Devon. They're all great teams, and they all got over. And like you say, when you can be trusted with those titles and carry a show anywhere, that's impressive.
Where do you rank the Dudley Death Drop as a tag team finish? It's got to be one of the best, don't you think?
Yeah.
Tag team finish?
Yeah, I can't think of anything other than the Road Warriors finish that would have been better.
Yeah, the Doomsday Device, I agree. And listen, it's a little, I mean, it wasn't nearly as high profile, but I loved Power and Glory's suplex with the splash that Herc and Paul Roma would do.
Yeah.
But obviously they didn't enjoy near the success that the Dudleys did. I think you could argue that the Dudleys had one of the most recognizable and beloved tag team finishes of all time.
Yeah, one time we were backstage, and Michael Hayes comes in, and he says, Ron, how about you take that 3D out on the floor, to set up the finish? Ron looked at Michael Hayes, Michael, get the fuck out of here. And then I think that's a no. I love Michael. Michael would come up with stuff that he would volunteer you for probably might not be that good. He needed an OSHA guy around him.
Hey, I do want to ask you, since we're talking all things OSHA today, I don't pretend to know, and I don't want to know, but if you had to take the table bump on your back, and that's the way most people do it, you know, you see lots of guys laying on a table and then another guy crashes through it. That's what we're used to. But when the Dudleys would do it with the table, I mean, a lot of times the guy would go forward through. If you had to pick, would you rather go through the table stomach first or back first?
Oh, back first. No doubt about it. No doubt about it. I've been through a lot of tables. I don't know if I've been through one stomach first. I don't know if I have or not. I've been through a lot of tables. You know, most of the time it's not that bad. There is some, you know, safety risk there. You know, something breaks. Yes. That's what happened to Finley. You know, Finley almost lost his leg over it. But definitely my back. No doubt about it. 10 times out of 10, the back.
Did you ever see, was there ever a circumstance where you saw Bubba or Devon, quote unquote, botch? Besides that hot tag that we talked about with Ron, did anybody ever trip or anything like that you recall?
Oh my God. Yeah. Only in the most famous arena in the entire world, Madison Square Garden. Yeah. So we were working in the Garden, and I don't remember where we were on the card, but we had worked a long time. You know, we were obviously late in the card. I don't know if we were last or not, but I doubt we were. I don't know. I don't remember. Anyway, we had worked a long time, and we had gotten really good heat, and we thought, man, we are set to rock this freaking place. So Ron hits the tag to me. Devin hits the tag to Bubba. I feed in, you know, like kind of like the old blind feed in. I'm ready for, you know, step into a punch and start feeding and go into this comeback that we thought we had a great comeback, great finish. Bubba comes in the ring like a ball of fire and he catches his foot on the middle rope. And he doesn't catch himself at all. He lands flat on his face like this. I mean, flat on his face, and his head lands between my feet on the ground, on the mat. The place like was going, huh? I mean, literally the whole Madison Square Garden goes, huh? And just looked at it. And Bubba's head is between my feet. And I mean, this is the worst shit ever. So freaking bad. So I'm like, okay, all right, Bubba, we're still going to do the comeback. So I'm trying to call the comeback to him about what we're going to do as an ad lib because I know he's upset. He double legs me and turns into Tank freaking Abbott. I mean, just turns into Tank Abbott. He just starts beating the shit out of me. And I'm going, you clumsy bastard, I didn't trip you. And so I'm turning around. He just, I'm like, oh my God, would you get him off of me? So I look at Ron and go, don't come in. Just don't stay out there. Wait till he settles down. So Bubba just beats me half to death. Like it's my fault that he tripped on the ropes. So anyway, we do the finish. It is terrible, horrible. Horrible in the Garden. So we come to the back, and Bubba is beside himself, man. He's just depressed. I mean, that poor man needs to see a doctor. He's so bad. And he's like, oh my God, this is horrible. It's the worst thing. And Ron's like, no, Bubba. You know, with that James Earl Jones voice, you know, that reassuring James Earl Jones voice goes, now, Bubba, come on now. It's not that bad. And Bubba goes, Ron, I was here when Jimmy Snuka jumped off the cage. It's the most famous arena in the world. I love this arena. I always want to wrestle in this arena. He goes, all my girlfriend, her whole family's here. All my college buddies were at ringside. And Ron goes, yeah, that's bad. That's real bad.
Don't we all love summer vacation, relaxing, laying out by the pool, barbecues, hitting the beach, doing, well, nothing? Well, how about a summer vacation from your house payments? With SaveWithConrad.com, you can do just that. Reduce your monthly payments by making the equity you built up in your home work for you. You can roll together those high interest rate credit cards into one lower monthly payment and perhaps access some of that newfound equity to turn your house into your dream home with no money out of pocket. And how about this? You get to skip your next 2 house payments. That's right. You won't have to make your June or your July house payment. You're done until August 1st. Go right now to SaveWithConrad.com. Let my team run the numbers for you for free. There's no obligation, and if we can't help you save some cash, we won't waste your time. And did I mention we're offering a 3-year guarantee right now? That's right. That means if at any point interest rates improve over the next 3 years, you get a free refi. That's right. No new lender fees from us. So you get to save money now without wasting money later when the rates improve on a whole second set of closing costs. Why not go to SaveWithConrad.com and get a guarantee? Save money now and save money later with your friend in the mortgage business. That's me, Conrad Thompson at SaveWithConrad.com. Shoot me an email at Conrad@SaveWithConrad.com. Give us a call at 888-425-0105 or get yourself a quick quote. Even talk to a live person right now at SaveWithConrad.com. NMLS number 2129, equal housing lender. Let's take a summer vacation from house payments at SaveWithConrad.com.